Hello, this video is a walkthrough on how to create a Zap in Zapier for making website form submissions. Go to a web lead sheet. You'd be creating a new one from scratch. We're going to walk through one that's already created step by step. So when creating new versions of this Zap, it's easy to follow the same process. So first, there is a form, then there's a date formatter, and then we have a spreadsheet here as well. And this is where you title the Zap up top. The form might be different on various landing pages that you use. It could be Contact Form 7, Formidable Forms, Gravity Forms, or a different type of form. You want to make sure that in Zapier, the first thing you do is choose the correct app. So on this landing page for this Zap in Zapier, they're using Formidable. So we're going to select the Formidable app, and then the trigger event, we're going to select New Entry. From there, you're going to choose the correct Formidable form from your website. So you have to connect your account. And then from there, you're going to select whatever form is on the website. If you have multiple forms through your account, you're going to see a drop down with the ability to select multiple forms. Just make sure that you select the correct form for the correct Zap and that it's labeled properly for whatever form you're trying to create. It's very important that if you have this title, that it's going to be assumed that the form is also for this landing page. So a great way to confirm is making sure that these two match, which is why, as you can see here, the form on the actual website has been edited and the Zap actually matches this as well. And then you can test the trigger here by pulling in test data, and then you can continue the test to confirm that the form is connected to Zapier. And you'll see a green check. If you see a red X appear, it's because an error occurred, but this is pretty straightforward, so you shouldn't have any errors. If you do, let your supervisor know. As far as the date and time, you want to choose the app that you're going to use, which is called Formatter by Zapier. Don't search date and time in Zapier for this part of the step. You have to search by Formatter by Zapier. That's the name of the step in the sequence. And then you select date and time. The purpose of doing this is because forms and other types of conversions that get tracked, the date is usually skewed and more built for computers to read it versus humans. So we like to format this so anytime in reporting, you can make sure that the submission of the date is converted into a more readable time. And there's a lot of different formats if you'd like to select, but usually the best format and the format that we always recommend using is having the month, day, year, and the exact time that the form was submitted. Then you can test the action, which will pull in the time and will show you what it converts it to. And then that step is done as well. And then the final step is having a sheet on Google Drive, and you need to select that action for Google Sheets. So you're going to have Create Spreadsheet Row as the action. So you're going to select Google Sheets and Create Spreadsheet Row. Then you're going to select the proper Google Sheet connection. Again, this is through the proper account. Make sure that you're using the correct account when you're selecting this. And then you want to set up the action, which in the drive, you'll select My Google Drive, and you'll notice next time you go back into the Zap, once it's created, that for whatever reason, this always has choose value showing instead of the drive that you initially selected when creating the Zap. You can disregard it. It does not affect the Zap. Then you select the spreadsheet that's in the Google Drive, which on your Google Drive, you'll have multiple spreadsheets. And in the worksheet, you'll select the proper tab within the spreadsheet. If the tab does not exist, it needs to be created. That way you can have it pull into Zapier. So if you get to this step and you forgot to create the tab in the actual web lead sheet, you're going to want to go into the sheet, create the tab, and then go back into the Zap, refresh, and make sure that the tab shows up. Fair warning, if you do not create the tab before getting to this step, Zapier caches what it picks up. So sometimes it might take a while for this tab to appear if you do the opposite steps there. So make sure before you get to this step that you have the web lead sheet and the tab created. Then from there, You're going to pull in the form fields, and the way you do that is by clicking in to these fields and selecting from the different apps. So as you can see here, we have the Formidable Forms app and the date and time app. So you're going to want to go into this area, open up all options, and you can select the different fields to make sure that the form is filled out properly. As you can see here, for full name, we have the field full name, email, and so on and so forth. Then at the very bottom, you can continue to use the Formidable Forms or the date format. Whichever you prefer in your reporting, we recommend using the formatter, but if not, it results in the same date. That is how you create a form submission going to a sheet. There are also other apps in Zapier that you can add that do a lot of different things, like send to CRM or move to a task template. But that's pretty much it as far as this step goes. If you have any questions, please let me know.